Hey y'all, Contessa here with your daily dose of nonsense on the web. If you are new to me or to my channel, welcome. Please hit the thumbs up button and subscribe if you would like to get notifications when I do pop on with a stream or a new recorded video. In this video, we're going to take a look at a video that was done on October 1st. It's actually on Justice for All's channel. Molly Golightly is, however, present in the video, so I will, of course, put that information in the description. We are going to discuss in this video some problematic things that are happening with all of the sideline drama that has been created. In this story, it seems like there's always a main character. There's always one main character causing problems or spreading misinformation. And unfortunately, now it seems to be many people once again amping up and spreading misinformation. Not really sure why. We talked about that yesterday a little bit of why this is amping back up. We all have our assumptions, which is pretty obvious, but we need to break down not just what is going on there, but why they're using this drama and why it's counterproductive to what the truth of the story actually is. And again, everything expressed in this video is my opinion and my opinion only. This is not a personal attack on any specific person whatsoever. This is my opinion based on the facts of the story, the facts, the things that can't be changed, the main aspects of the story. If you want screenshots, all of that stuff, it's on Facebook. Some of it's on YouTube. A lot of it's in the videos. It is out there. All I'm asking you guys once again is to please research the facts. More people are starting to open their eyes and understand that this has been an illusion right in front of their faces. It's been a magic trick of sorts. Let's get into it.
I would love to have what you have, a husband and a nice big house and blah 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 and blah blah. And she's just jealous. Like I gave her like a good friendship. But the thing is, when you get to a point with a friend where you don't know what's true and you're constantly wondering like what's the truth, and you have to like take everything that they say with a grain of salt because the probability of them lying is like 80% and it keeps going up and up. I don't want friends like that. Like, come to me as yourself. I don't care if you're fat, if you're ugly, if you're poor, if you're, I don't care if you have a GED. I don't care about any of that stuff.
Right.
It's just like
Just
come
a
as far.
decent person. It doesn't matter because I've been the broke,
Why?
And
I
mean,
changed.
exactly. It's just I just don't
Fine
understand.
Girl's not a good person. And you want to know something? That's why she can't grow, is because all she does is talk about other people. She talks highly of herself. And the stuff is she's not honest. And people are tired of listening to her. She'll never be successful at anything. And she's mad about it. And everybody sees right through her. And she makes a joke out of herself. That's why she's got no friends. That's why she can't grow a channel. She has no spine. And she wants to know what everybody else has. She brags about education that she doesn't have. She thinks she knows everything. And her need for attention is like worse than mine. Like
I figured we'd start off at that point in the video because it is a true moment of self-reflection. Once again, everything she is saying is typical narcissistic behavior. Once again, I'm not a professional. This is my opinion, but she displays 100% narcissistic traits. She is always doing things like this, cutting other women down, and then she claims she doesn't. But if you put everything that she just said in regards to somebody else on her, it fits. And that's the thing she misses. Everything she talks about and all of this sideline drama actually is a very big moment of self-reflection. But she continues to throw in all these other creators, creates all this drama, and then she'll continue to go on and throw in this Marvon McRae story. And it's just bullshit. Pure bullshit. It's all for clicks and views, all shock value.
goes after it, like everyone has to prove themselves to her when she's really nothing. And everybody knows it.
Most people don't take anything she says seriously. And if they do, they need to reevaluate what they think. But let me tell you something. Don't ever listen, and this goes for everybody, to what she says. You have worth. You have value. This is, again, self-reflection about how she feels about herself. This is all her feelings about herself that she is projecting onto other people and other relationships of hers that have failed. Once again, taking no fault of her own. But please do not take these insults that she continues to do to heart anybody, because do not give her that power. She doesn't have that power. You have worth.
Tia disappointed you? Oh, she disappointed a lot of people.
Let's be honest here. She's not disappointed in Tia. What she is pissed because Tia pointed out that they lied about one thing. She's mad because Tia admitted that they were lying about one thing. One thing only. That's all she said. Well, she said a lot more about her and Molly's relationship, but that's it. And you're
My
disappointed?
problem is she lies too much and she's very fake. And all of a sudden she'll like switch personalities.
If you've been following me, you know I'm not a big supporter of a lot of these other channels that have stood beside and or condoned Molly's behavior from the start, because it has been completely counterproductive to the Marvon McRae story and what the truth is in his story. So I have a hard time not agreeing with Molly on some of this stuff because it was condoned for weeks and weeks. She sat on panel with them, amening their comments. She condoned their behaviors. And now that she's calling out one lie, I have a lot of questions. And no, this is in no way, shape, or form a personal attack against Tia whatsoever. I don't have any issues with her personally. I don't know her. I don't watch her. I get sent clips. I have watched her maybe like 20 minutes. I know that as people come around, more and more of their opinions change, or they are more able to speak about things publicly. I also get that she too was between a rock and a hard place, because if she would have called her out, this destruction that Molly has tried to do to her channel would have happened sooner. So you do get put in a hard spot. But again, when you take the opportunity to condone somebody's behavior and stand beside them as they're continuing to pass out misinformation and pass off misinformation, you kind of have some responsibility and accountability to take in the bigger picture. And once again, this is a man's life. This is a man's life that has been lied about over and over and over again. The continuing spread of misinformation has done nothing but damage the story from start to finish. The foundation of the story was built off of misinformation. That misinformation got passed off by creators like this. They sat on panels for hours and hours together spreading this misinformation. They took it to multiple channels. And the big problem I have is that they're still stuck on pieces of the story that are not factual. They are still stuck in their hatred for certain creators that they can't look past that. So while they're willing to call out certain things, they also are using these other things to save face because they don't want to admit that they were wrong about the certain creator at one point in time. I understand. I get it. But the facts are the facts. She did not create the problems in this story. They were already there. They already existed. The foundation was built off of misinformation that has been intentionally spread by the family and these creators.
A lot. See, this is the thing, Marissa. This is what people are dealing with, real problems.
Yep.
No shit, Sherlock. And you guys have taken the opportunity to lie on many of these people's real life issues. It's interesting how they want to use this at this point in time after there has been a deliberate attack over and over and over again on certain individuals that are going through real life stuff that you guys know about, but you've still encouraged these attacks on those people. Okay.
You know what I mean? And just being there for one another is what matters at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
So being there for one another is what matters at the end of the day. But you have two creators sitting in front of you right now who have taken every opportunity to cut down other people going through real life stuff. They've taken the opportunity to throw that real life stuff and use it against those same people. So this is only fitting if it's people that they want to acknowledge or people that condone their bullshit, basically. That's the only time those people matter.
I'll be the lobster, you be the snake.
Of course, you got to switch it up. You've been a snake for far too long.
I won't be calling another welfare check on her. My husband said this morning, he said, Marissa, I would advise this to be your last video on this woman. He goes, I think this is enough.
Yeah.
Well, you heard it from her. Walter says that she should not do any more videos on a certain person. But This was October 1st, late night October 1st on Just Channel. Does anybody know if she's held to that bargain yet? Can anybody tell me? Because I seem to think that she already broke that little statement she said. Because wasn't it the next morning? Oh, wait, I'll wait for all of you guys to answer in the comments because I'm really interested to see what you say. She does a lot of this. She says one thing and completely does another. She always says, well, Walter says this or Walter says that. Does she ever take his advice? I really don't think so. She just throws it in there like there's somebody with common sense in the picture. But in reality, she never applies his logic to anything. We've heard him say quite a few different things that are like, does he really condone this stuff? But in essence, yes, he does because he continues to be present.
Patreons are going to be like, you know what? Marissa was nice to you. Screw you, Michelle. Now you don't get any more of Marissa's attention or focus or concern. Now,
well, it shows you that you don't know what you're going to get with her. If she's actually, you thinking that she's a genuine person, a genuine moment at least, and she's actually not being genuine, well, you don't know what you're
Adrian
getting.
is right.
You've got to be fucking kidding me that the Wish version of Ken and Barbie are talking about anybody else being fake or not genuine. Please, somebody tell me that I had a nightmare and I'm still in that because these two calling anybody else out on being genuine or fake, come the fuck on.
Exactly. Those people are the only people that are there watching are there to see her drink and see what's going to come out of her mouth and spy and see what she's snorting, what she's going to say, how she's going to threaten, make a fool out of herself. And when she realizes that they're there for nefarious reasons and that she's got to keep that up or she's going to lose people, and then she's got to come up with bigger and better. Because let me tell you something, it gets harder when you get more subscribers.
I have a question for you, Molly. Didn't you say that you were handing her off to the drama community on purpose? And then you're saying that the only people they're watching her are doing those things? Well, of course, they're your Patreons and your followers. And you sent them out on these little missions. And they do everything you say. And unfortunately, they believe everything you say. It's kind of like having flying monkeys. But this way, Molly doesn't get her hands dirty, right? So then Molly can keep up this innocent image.
Do you think this isn't hard for me? Like with all these Patreons? So be careful what you wish for. It gets harder. It really does get harder.
Another moment of read between the lines, but what Molly is telling you is that it gets harder because the more lies you tell, the longer you continue to lie to people, the more you get called out and corrected. Then you have to make up lies to cover the lies, to cover the lies, to cover the lies. Then you start forgetting the lies that you've told to cover the lies, to cover the lies. That's what she means.
In this time, in the world we live in right now, where everything's so chaotic, a lot of people, they really don't want drama. They just want to laugh and come home and just kind of unwind. And I really wanted a place where someone could just grab a glass of wine and just kind of laugh and stuff like that.
In my opinion, anybody that is viewing your channel should be viewing it as entertainment only, any of your channels, because A, you're definitely not a true crime creator. You base nothing on facts whatsoever. All you are is entertainment. That is it. So I don't know why you even think you have to separate because you are an entertainer only. The fact of it is true crime isn't your thing.
And to find out like all these things, like now to find out that RuPaul is trying to get Letitia to stay away from me, you and Goose.
And of course, instead of being a decent human being and referring to her by her name of Tia, she has coined Tia as RuPaul. That is what she has decided to call Tia because she's making jokes at the transgender community by doing that. That's what she's trying to do. She's trying to hurt Tia by doing that.
All right, RuPaul, what's your motive behind that? And
you notice that Molly is upset because she knows that Letitia at this current moment is in Tia's comments. Tia has been trying to stand up for Letitia. She has gone along with the whole thing that we are all attacking Letitia, that Letitia is a victim potentially. But that, again, is just not based on the facts. So I question both of them right here. But you see how it starts to become a competition because Molly knows that Letitia is in Tia's comments. Now, Tia had been talking about this Marvon McRae story for quite some time on her channel, having Goose on her channel. In fact, I have a video from August 13th where Goose told this entire story the first time on Tia's channel. They have gone along with the same story all along. The only thing, to my understanding, that Tia has changed in this story is that Molly is a terrible person. She always has been. Justin's a terrible person, kind of always has been. And they lied about the police report. And when I say that they lied about the police report, that Molly, Goose, and Justin knew that the police report was real. They knew that it was real, and they opted to not even tell Tia. Goose opted not to tell Tia that it was a real report. They were going to continue to pass it off as a lie, that it was a fake report, all while knowing that this was really happening. But I'm concerned because why was that the one lie that she was worried about when the entire story has been based off of lies? And I don't think that she's seen proof of any of the rest of it either. There's no way she possibly could and still be coming to this conclusion that Letitia is a victim. Again, I'm trying to be patient and let her come around and research the facts because there is a lot out there. But you have a lady here that lied about a report. What does that benefit anybody in this? And then you want us to believe that she's horrible for all this other stuff, but not lying about everything else that she said in this story.
What are you going to do for Letitia?
This is where it starts to get really sticky because what exactly needs done for Letitia at this point in time? She was sent thousands of dollars to obtain legal representation, which you said she did. You've said that she got a court order. Remember, that's your words, nobody else's. She's been to Arizona to see Marvon. And once again, she is biological mother of Marvon McRae. So although you guys demand that she can see Marvon and all of these other things, legally standing, she has no rights. And that's a huge piece of this that everybody continues to pass off. Letitia has no rights. So her being allowed to see Marvon was a miracle, and thank goodness she was. Nobody thinks that Letitia should have been denied to see Marvon. Nobody agrees with that. But she has gotten to see him, and she hasn't made an effort to go back. But at this point in time, what is the purpose of Letitia involving herself with any of these creators? The stories out there, incorrectly mostly. The funds have been raised. Again, we don't know how much. There has been so many questions asked and denied to be answered by anybody. But the one thing that they're willing to call out is that they were lying about a police report being filed. That's the one thing that we're going to call out, is that there was a lie intentionally placed to their followers because they just didn't want the drama with this report. So now we're supposed to believe that this is all on the up and up still, right? That's what we're being told. Letitia's a victim. We're all attacking her. The money's been spent in the right spot, but we have no verification on any of this. And exactly what do you creators need to do for Letitia? And now there's conversation on YouTube that Letitia might be starting her own YouTube channel.
What are you going to do for Marvon? What are you going to do?
I would ask you that same question, Molly. What have you done for Marvon? What are you doing for Marvon? Because let's be honest, nothing that you're doing has benefited Marvon. Actually, you have done nothing but damaged his name and his reputation by what you have chosen to continually put on social media with the help and the guidance from his family. The people that claim to love him more than anything at all have condoned your fabrications and your bullshit that you continue to pass off about their son. That is what you guys have done to help him, correct? Because not a cent has gone to him.
Tell us how you plan on helping these people.
Let's just break this down for a minute. The incident was May 23rd. It is October 3rd. October 3rd. How in the heck are you still asking people or wondering what people are going to do to help the family? What needs done? The goal was for them to be able to see Marvon. That was accomplished months ago. Months ago. And you claim that there is a legal court order. That was your claim. So what exactly needs done for any of these people? You have claimed yourself that your Patreons are still sending money to the family. So what do they need? Supposedly, they have legal representation. They've been to Arizona. So what more would they need? Oh, maybe they would need to be left alone to reconcile their relationship within their family.
And what are you going to do that we haven't already done?
Let's talk about what Molly has done for this case for a moment. She started covering this case July 6th. She has done nothing but pass off misinformation and blatant lies. A lot of these lies that actually came from the family themselves. Letitia Bias was behind a lot of this misinformation that was intentionally spread on all platforms. You can go see that for yourself. The text messages cannot be denied. She said what she said, what she said. All of us have had a hand in Marvan's story being destroyed. This is not a social media situation. This is a family issue that should have been resolved within the family for the best interest of Marvan. Nobody seems to be thinking about what's best for Marvan. At least none of you do, because you're still sitting here talking about this that needs to be done, or what are you going to do for the family that we haven't done? What have you done, Molly, besides raise a ton of money that nobody knows where it went to? Of course, it's being claimed that it was spent on travel and legal expenses, but still, October 3rd, nothing has been filed in any Arizona courts on behalf of Marvan. Not a single thing. Again, you can check it yourself. It's easy to verify this. So, what is it that you've done besides raise thousands of dollars for this family, and where has it gone? Nothing to show for it. But you continue to say that Letitia never asked for anything besides prayers. So if Letitia didn't ask for anything besides prayers, which we know isn't true, but let's go on her train of thought for a minute. So you mean to tell me that all the fundraising was whose idea exactly? Who decided to ask Marvan and Wynette to help them raise funds? Can you explain that to us, Molly? Because Letitia asked for fundraising herself. Marvan and Wynette have never asked anybody for anything that we've seen publicly, ever. So my question is, who approached the Jacksons about fundraising? Is it the same person that approached Letitia about fundraising, even though she had already started fundraising? Would that person happen to be a big creator on YouTube that does not stop running her mouth and spreading misinformation? I'm just curious. What do you guys think? At the end of the day, besides raising money and lying to the public about this story and or creating a false narrative to paint Dre in a light that just isn't true, there is things that you can absolutely ask questions on and have opinions on. That's not it. But they have intentionally used content to create a false narrative, continually over and over pushing that false narrative. That's what they've done. Sat online and bashed Marvan's wife and children and him at the same time. They don't realize that he was an adult. And being an adult man, he was making choices in his life. Granted, you can have your opinions on those choices and why they were made and all of the other things. Of course, public opinion is going to go rampant with whatever they decide. But the facts are the facts are the facts. Marvan is an adult male. He was making choices. He was an active participant in his marriage. He made choices in his health care. He still had a voice. Again, you can have your opinions there, but no matter which way you spin it, there has to be accountability taken on everybody's ends that they're passing off a false narrative. This is Marvan's life they're talking about, a person that they claim to love and care about so much. But the family hasn't even cared about watching all of these fabricated lies be told.
What's the motive behind that? The motive just evil and conniving.
Molly, it's pretty interesting when you call out somebody else's intentions and motives because your own are very twisted. But I'll give you this. I question her motives too because Letitia is not a victim. Unfortunately, no matter which way you paint it, at the end of the day, the facts are the facts. This is not an attack on Letitia. This is the blatant truth. The facts are the facts. Letitia had a hand in all of this and how it played out on social media. That cannot be denied whatsoever. There was never a start out for an attack on Letitia, and Letitia being a victim because people asked questions about where all this money has gone when it was stated to be to help Marvon. It was actually coined the Justice for Vaughn Fund by Letitia. So when you coin something that way and everything has been intentionally done to lie to followers, there's issues. It's not just one person's motives that are in question. It's all of their motives that are in question. Every single one of them, including Letitia's. What is the motivation for her to continue to condone this stuff and participate in it on social media? She is actively making a choice to be in Tia's comments at this point in time when Molly's over here talking about them and their family, also the exclusive creator she's stuck to. So you can't tell me there's not a motive in Letitia's behaviors of being in Tia's chat. Actually, there absolutely is. In my opinion, I think it's trying to position herself in hopes that some of this reporting and questions can stop. I think she's hoping that if they continue to pass off that she's a victim and they do it loud enough and she aligns with people that are trying to pass that off, that somehow things will get a little bit easier or maybe these reports will magically disappear. That's my opinion only, though.
And then you wonder why you lost so much support. Because
Let's talk about losing support for a moment, Molly, should we? Because these are your stats. And it seems like Tia might not be the only one that's losing subs because of their behaviors. But again, these are your behaviors that affected your numbers, your behaviors. So while you're pointing out everybody else's, maybe you should look at your own because you're fighting and struggling for content.
you're not a good person.
I swear every time I hear Molly call somebody else out on their bullshit, I just laugh because how does Molly have the authority to sit there and call anybody a bad person, fake, phony, anything? I mean, it's just self reflection and projection, of course, but still, Molly, get over yourself. Nobody gives a fuck what you think about them at the end of the day. Your opinion means shit to most people because you're an entertainer. You do things for shock value. Nothing about you is sincere or genuine. Everything's for a show. That's all it is for a show. So the audacity of you to call out somebody else on your own behaviors that you also display is pretty telling.
And now everyone sees it and they unsub you.
And of course, you can see right here that her intent is to hurt Tia's channel. That's Molly's intent. That's exactly what she's doing. She wants to hit her where it hurts, in her opinion. That's why she goes at her looks. That's why she's going at her channel. That's why she's trying to get her followers and her subs to do her little dirty work. She wants them all to unsub. She wants all of this drama. But in the meantime, Molly's losing subs herself. And that's nothing to do with anything but Molly's own behavior. Molly has made choices to continue to pass off misinformation. And finally, some of those followers are starting to wake up and ask questions. But Molly can't answer them because that's just another lie to cover another lie to cover another lie. She's stuck in a corner. She can't spin anywhere else. Her lies are completely obvious to anybody that's really paying attention. Sadly, when you align yourself with creators like this and give them that power to destroy you, they will use it.
Answer that. Answer what's behind that? What's in it for you?
Of course, it's really interesting to me that Molly is once again questioning what's in it for Tia. Why didn't you question her motivation when she jumped on panel with you? If you're wondering about what her motivation is for covering the story, why didn't you ask her when she came up on your panel? Oh, you didn't care then because she was going along with everything you said. She was another one that was taking your information and passing it off as facts. So, as long as she was doing that, you didn't care about what her motivation was or her intents were. But now you care all of a sudden that she's not singing your praises and or saying that, yes, she's telling you the truth. Yes, all of this stuff. But she's still passing off your false narrative in a lot of ways. So exactly why now? Why are you questioning it now, Molly? You should have questioned it a long time ago. But again, we should all ask you the same thing. But we all know the answer is out there for what your motivation and your intentions are.
By saying, I want Letitia to stay away from Justin, Goose, and Molly Golightly. Why?
I don't know if this was actually said about staying away from Molly Goose and Justin, But we've all been saying that for a long time. If Letitia actually wanted all the stress and the drama to stop within this story, staying away from them would have been the first thing she should have done, because she knew that they were fabricating stories in this case. She absolutely has known. She's helped them build this fabrication of these stories. This has been a group effort. This has not just been one or the other. This has been a combined effort by all of them. And if you watch closely enough, you will see that this is intentional. These are intentionally done things that they've been doing all along. If you think for 1 second that Letitia being in Tia's chat at this point in time is not intentional, you once again are fooled, because it's absolutely intentional. There is absolutely motivation behind what Letitia is doing at this time.
Do you have something for Marvon?
No, what's happening is Letitia has once again decided to flip up her advocates when things start to get messy. That is absolutely what has happened time and time again. As soon as things start to get a little chaotic or not going her way, she switches advocates. It has happened many times. Goose was a replacement of replacements of replacements.
You have something for Marvon Sr., Wynette, and Letitia? What can you do for them? How are you going to help them?
Why would any creator or anybody be needing to do anything for the family at this point in time? The family themselves have not attempted to go back to Arizona. The family themselves did not respond when Dre reached out and apologized. That was Wynette. We've all heard her talk about it. So why now would any creator be stepping in to do something for the family again, when everything that's been done for the family has fallen at the family's footsteps and they're the ones that haven't picked it up and ran with it? So they've been set up for success, in my opinion. Fundraisers, all of these things, right? But nothing has continued beyond that. And we're still at the spot where you're claiming they can't get any information, they can't see him, but they're making no efforts. And you said that there's a court order, which again can't be found, but exactly what would any creator need to be doing for this family at this point in time?
Are you talking to Dre? Did you work something out with Dre?
I find this to be so comical, because why do they think that Dre is going to be reaching out and communicating with creators that have helped and continue to help pass off a false narrative about her and her husband? Why would Dre go to Tia to broker peace? Why is it on Dre? Can anybody tell me that first and foremost? Because there's many other family members that could have put a stop to this and brokered peace. Many people have offered to help attempt to broker peace within the family so this could get off social media and be handled correctly. That has been done. That has been denied. The family has said, nope, that doesn't work. They're not interested in that. So again, Molly expects Dre to go to a creator, obviously, or she thinks that she's talking to a creator. The same creators that are still passing off misinformation. You really think that's what's going on, Molly? No, probably not, if you use your logical sense. I really would not expect that.
Are you working out something with Dre on the side? Because unless you are,
I personally wish that somebody within the family would come to an agreement and broker peace so all of this could come to a stop.
then by all means, I want Letitia to go to you. But unless that's happening, step the fuck off, bitch.
So you just hear Molly say that unless Letitia is going to Tia to help broker peace with Dre, that she needs to step the fuck off, bitch. First and foremost, Molly, who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you to tell anybody else what they can and can't do? Secondly, Letitia is in her chat condoning what she's saying, because she's still continuing to pass off misinformation. So, of course, it's more comfortable. Letitia needs to be seen in the light of the victim. She needs that narrative to change. She needs to be painted as the victim, because it's the only thing that's going to turn things around, in her opinion. When in reality, the best thing she could do is come out and say, enough's enough, and remove herself from the entire thing. Remove herself from social media and all of the drama. She is actively choosing to participate in YouTube. She's actively participating in continuing these false narratives to be spread on her biological
She
son.
ain't got nothing. She's been so vile, so vile.
here comes Spanky with his holier than thou attitude. Of course, everybody else is vile. Hey, Justin, have you opened any of your Amazon packages lately? I'm hoping that one of your followers maybe sent you a backbone. That's what I'm really hoping for in one of your unboxings, is that you finally get a backbone, because I know you don't have one. So I guess it's probably going to have to come from Amazon or Wish. Wish is probably more your version.
When literally 2 weeks ago, she was all gung-ho.
I do have to give it to him here, though, because I've questioned the same thing. 2 weeks ago, she was condoning all of these lies and this behavior. And now we know that she had never been shown proof of anything. So she was just passing off information that she was being told by Goose and or Molly and Justin. I'm assuming mostly came from Goose. But there's no way that she saw proof of anything to back up these claims. And if she did, sadly, it was probably fabricated proof. So 2 weeks ago, she was helping pass off this misinformation. Then the situation happened with the police report. They were going to continue to lie. She said, I can't be down with this. We've heard her say that other people were asking, are you going to speak on this or what? And here she came out and finally said, look, I can't condone this behavior anymore. They're saying that the report is fake, but it's actually a real report. Again, not even going into the information in the report. I don't have personal issues with Tia. I do have issues with her behavior and the fact that she is so hell-bent on continuing to make Katie the one who's at fault for this entire story. She is encouraged passing off that narrative because Katie's part of her content. And it would be counterproductive for her to say, well, it's not her fault in this one time. I get that. But at the same time, it's the truth. The truth is the truth. There's facts out there that you can't deny that Katie was not the first one to ask for a refund and didn't start this. Her falling out with Molly and Justin has nothing to do with the facts in this story. And it is not how Letitia was attacked, not whatsoever. And again, you've passed off that I am Katie, that my information is coming from Katie, which is not true. Many people have told you that. And I've heard you said finally that you think that Katie and me are not one and the same. Thank you for that, at least. But at the end of the day, this isn't about creators being right or wrong. This is about a man's story who's being lied on by his family and creators that were supposed to be the exclusive to the family. These same creators that have continued to attack this man's wife and children and him over and over and over again. Now they've taken this man's victim status from him and given it to his biological mother, who is absolutely not deserving of a victim status whatsoever. People asked her questions. They were extremely respectful when they first started asking questions. People were legit concerned that Letitia might be a victim at that point in time. It took digging and listening to Letitia's own statements, seeing them, watching all of this stuff unfold to really understand the bigger picture here. And unfortunately, no matter which way you turn things, once again, you cannot deny the facts. The facts are Letitia intentionally did a lot of this on social media for some sort of benefit. But let's be very clear. Letitia herself did not get herself in all of these positions by herself. She had absolute handholders to walk her right into the position she is in today. And these same handholders, we've watched one by one slowly slip away into silence. That says a lot in itself. But yet people are still not being honest about the facts.
She's a phony and a fake.
Molly calling Tia a phony and a fake is so rich to me, because talk about projection. Molly, let's talk about how bad it's pissing you off at the current moment that Letitia is in Tia's comments and you don't have control of that situation. That's why you're lashing out so low, because you're pissed off. That's all. That's it. How dare somebody disrespect you in that way? That's what you're thinking. But you got to continue to bash Tia because you can't bash Letitia yet. That would absolutely hurt your storyline, wouldn't it? But we're headed there, aren't we?
She's pissed off because not only me, but everyone else at first, even fucking
Perpetuate
Mallory
your
said it.
false narrative. Perpetuate your false narrative. Perpetuate your false narrative.
Tia definitely isn't wrong about them passing off a false narrative. That's what they continue to do. But they haven't been alone in this whole passing of this false narrative either. They have had a lot of help in doing that. It's just funny to me that he is so pissed off right now. They are so mad because Letitia is in Tia's comments. And this is a grasp for control. They have to continue to speak downly on Tia to try and gain control of the situation again.
That's all she says.
Do you know what she said? She said that I give money to Black women to enslave them to do things for me.
I don't know if this comment was ever actually made or not. My issue with it is Letitia is in Tia's comments currently. And this is what Molly is using to try and paint Tia as a bad
I
person.
never asked anybody to do a damn thing for me, and I never got anything out of it.
You never asked anybody to do anything, and you never got anything out of it. Should we talk about the thousands of dollars that you benefited the last few months from covering this story? Should we talk about all the people that you've told to just trust you, believe you? That's asking people to do something, right? Ignore facts. That's what you've been doing all along. Oh, just believe me, just trust me. I'm not going to provide you with any facts whatsoever, but I'm going to tell you a hell of a storyline for you to continue to run with. That's what you've been doing.
Hey, Muscles, I've never gotten anything out of this.
You've never gotten anything out of this. Molly, that's a blatant lie, which that's all you do. But your numbers grew massively. Your pocket was lined massively. You probably haven't even donated 10% of what you gained off of telling this story to the family that you are saying are so in need of support. You, I doubt, even gave them 10% of what you actually benefited. You've benefited more from this story than most other people, in my opinion. Yes, you, the one that's claiming, "Oh, I didn't get anything out of any of this." That's asinine to even attempt to claim.
Oh, I got more subs? Well, guess what? RuPaul, I gave that family thousands of dollars.
Molly, when was the last time that you sent the family money? I would love to know that. Is that why the family is no longer talking to you? Is because you're not donating to them anymore? Is that potentially it? Or did the family finally realize how much you've profited off of their son's name? But again, they aligned with you, knowing that you were going to profit off of their son's name. And they were okay with it because they were profiting too, right? Are you still donating to them? Or is that why we're seeing a shift now? Did you stop donating finally? You say you gave them thousands of dollars, but again, nobody's seen proof except 1 or 2 transactions that you've done. So let's figure out some numbers here, Molly. You get so pissed when people inflate numbers, but you will never be honest and transparent about anything. Again, if you need the definition of transparency, I provided it for you in one of the previous videos.
Did you give them $1? I don't think you have.
And this takes me back to when Justin, Molly, and Tia were on panel together. And Molly was saying that if creators were covering this story and using Marvon's name, but not donating to the family, that she was going to call out every single one of those channels. Tia agreed with her at that time. Yes, I have the clips. Yes, I think they're posted. But she absolutely agreed with her. Now she's saying that Tia probably didn't even give him $1. But it was okay when Tia was condoning her behavior and going along with that, right? That everybody else that didn't donate should be called out.
Were you there when they were crying? Were you on the phone with these people, listening to them cry? No, you weren't.
Actually, I think she probably heard it just like the rest of us. In fact, I think she was on panel with you a couple times when Letitia came up telling her story and or crying during that. So yeah, she's probably been involved just as much as you have. And what's interesting to me is that you haven't really even been the advocate behind the scenes working with her. That's been Goose. So why are you trying to say that you're doing all of this stuff and listening to them be upset and all this other stuff? They've always had advocates behind the scenes, you know, the Justice for Vaughn girls. Then we went to who? Goose. So exactly, Molly, how is this really affecting you? But again, Molly is got to be the victim in every story.
No.
Are you gonna pack your bags and take a flight out to Yuma, Arizona?
Why would anybody 4 months in, especially a creator off of YouTube, a random stranger, why would anybody need to be boarding a plane and flying to Yuma, Arizona? Can you explain that to me, Molly? Because the family hasn't even returned. The family, his siblings, his biological parents, they've been there once and haven't returned. So you tell me why some random creators need to be the ones to go to Yuma, Arizona? Make it make sense, Molly.
And stand outside CPS and stand outside of the police department? No.
Hey, Big Mouth, it's been 4 months. You've been saying all along that you do all this stuff and you can make things happen, and your ass has sat in that chair and done not a fucking thing besides run your mouth and cause more harm than good. You have blatantly lied so much that you have caused so much harm, it's not even funny. And you will not take accountability for any of it. You still sit here and try to pass off to everybody that you're this big, bad, gonna show up and get in people's faces. And yet your ass sits in that chair and does fucking nothing besides run your mouth and cause more bullshit with your lies. That's all you do. So, of course, you want somebody else to go out to Yuma, Arizona, because your ass ain't gonna do it unless somebody pays for the trip for you to be there.
Shut your fucking bitch ass mouth up before I go over there and fucking do it for you.
Molly, I wish you would bring that energy towards me. Bring that same energy you have towards all of these people who have helped perpetuate your story. That energy that you have been directing at all of those people that you were once associated with, bring it towards me. Let's talk about the facts, Molly. Bring that attitude towards me and we'll go through and talk about the facts. You think you're so big, bad, and tough. Let's talk about the facts and how they line out. Let's hear your explanations and excuses for all of this. I would love for you to bring that energy to me because it's still not going to change the fucking facts of the story at hand. Nothing changes the facts. Your big bad mouth is nothing but a big bad fucking mouth. Absolutely no fear instilled in anybody because you sit in that chair and run your mouth. What the fuck are you going to do? Show up in somebody's face and they're going to laugh at you because you're out of your freaking mind and continue to lie.
She's terrible. She's absolutely terrible.
Again, shut the fuck up.
She's a shitty fucking person. She's just like KJ.
I think we all just went back to elementary school playground days with the, I know you are, but what am I?
And she wants to talk about fucking KJ. KJ is looking pretty fucking good at the moment compared to you bitch.
But I thought Katie was at fault for all of this, Molly. And now because you're more mad at Tia because Letitia is in Tia's comments and she's not going along with your bullshit anymore. Now Tia's worse than Katie, the one that you say started all of this. How is that possible?
At least KJ tells you she's a fucking piece of shit.
Might be invisible ink, but you've got it tattooed across your forehead, honey.
She doesn't sneak up on your ass. She's a snake.
You know what
A snake calling out a snake. That's comical.
really hurts me is the way she treated Goose.
Goose, yeah.
Oh, poor Goose. Somebody wouldn't continue to lie for her. Exactly how is Goose the victim in this once again? Because Goose wanted somebody to lie for her. The person said no, and then they had a falling out over it. So tell me how, once again, Goose was treated so badly, and I could give two shits less about any of this makeup palette bullshit. That got brought up as a distraction. I don't fucking care about any of that.
Goose did nothing wrong. Goose was in tears, that poor girl.
Like,
Oh, yeah, that poor girl who has continued to fabricate bullshit over and over again and spread it all over social media now has other people spreading the same bullshit. I have not an ounce of sympathy for anything of Goose and her being called out for being a liar because that's exactly what she is. That's exactly what you all are, is nothing but a bunch of fucking liars.
we didn't, we weren't really, we just knew her through Goose. You know what I mean?
Oh, of course, Justin with trying to distance himself.
But I'm sorry, Kelly. Count it as a blessing.
Listen, sweethearts. She said today that I look 63 or 70. The bitch is jealous because I don't need makeup, that I have perfect fucking eyebrows, and that I was a professional makeup artist and can cam up without makeup.
I have to laugh first and foremost. And what I'm going to say, bear with me, but I didn't realize that upside down Nike swooshes were the perfect brow. I really didn't. But I guess if you're Molly, that's amazing and the most on point brows you'll ever see. But going back to the professional makeup artist thing, claims to be a professional makeup artist, but she's knocking another woman for wearing makeup. Make it make sense, Molly. So you knock a woman for loving to do makeup because that's what she does. But you claim you're some sort of professional? Make it make sense. And as far as you coming online without makeup on, honey, you come online with no dignity or class or morals on the daily. So the last thing that you should be worried about is the makeup on your face. The insides show right through.
Bitch is jealous that I have a fucking beautiful fucking home, beautiful fucking cars, a freaking prized child, and an excellent fucking husband, and people actually give a shit about me on YouTube.
And once again, Molly cannot fight a fight or have an argument with anybody without it turning into, you're just jealous of me and all of my material things and my prized child. Honey, anybody that has kids has a prized child. We all do. You're not special. It doesn't matter what you think you have and all of this material bullshit. Most of us are not thrilled with that, and it does nothing for us. I'm glad that it does something for you and gives you some sort of self-worth. That's all that matters, is if you're getting what you need out of those material things. And obviously you are, because you think everybody is so envious of you. I pity you. I pity how broken and miserable you are and how unaware you are of it. That everybody else you're putting this on display for, and you yourself cannot recognize this within you. That's what I am horrified for online with you, is you cannot see this.
Wishes she had a modicum of my beauty.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Renelle blames what? Rabbit. Renelle blames you and where they been.
I love how they willfully play ignorant once again.
No, I did a video.
I don't know what that means.
I thanked Renelle for her thing, but the thing is I can't be in 10 places at one time.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So all of these random misinformation cronies are calling my Facebook post an attack on Letitia. Even though you can read for yourself, I absolutely was 100% kind to Letitia once again, and I did not engage in any of the back and forth with her. She engaged with people in the comments, and people told her what they felt, and she went back at them like adults do. They don't need a freaking babysitter. But at the same time, here you have the people who said that they will be beside her through it all. They are so sick of watching all of this happen to her. They've all been watching it go down. There was one person that stood up for Letitia in the comments.
It's Letitia went off on Facebook and started cursing out nonsense or something.
Celebrate good times, come on. It's a celebration.
Well, she said my name, but that was completely flat as fuck. She has no emotion or excitement or reaction whatsoever when she says nonsense. She absolutely has the flattest voice every time she says anything to do with my channel at all. She cannot stand having to even say my channel name. It's hysterical.
Letitia went off on Facebook and started cursing out nonsense or something.
Sorry, I just had to play it again because I cannot help but find it hysterical that when she says nonsense, there is no emotion whatsoever behind her voice. Everybody else gets these screaming, yelling, rants and raves and personal attacks. But with me, she just says nonsense channel. Like, very flat. It's hysterical.
I didn't know that. I don't usually check Facebook very much. So,
oh, that's a load of bullshit, because I know for a fact that you've been on Facebook commenting on lives that are passing off misinformation. Yeah, you know, the one you reposted the other day that's filled with nothing but misinformation, and you were commenting in the comments, you screen recorded it yourself and posted it, that you were supporting the spread of this misinformation, saying that she could be the voice on TikTok for the story. We are 4 months in. Who are you to appoint anybody as somebody else's voice, first of all?
they made videos saying, Renelle made a video saying, is Molly Golightly responsible for all this hate that Letitia's getting? I watched most of it and I thanked Renelle for the video, but
as far as where responsibility falls in this story, there's a lot of people that responsibility falls on top of. Molly, of course, has handheld Letitia into a lot of these spots. So people have absolutely been questioning, where are you now, Molly? Why are you not over here defending her? Did you not know about this? And why, if you did know about this, did you not opt to say, hey, this could be twisted and turned. Let's get in front of it and just be transparent. This is what it is. This is what it isn't. Oh, wait, that's because you haven't done that all along. Nobody's been transparent. But was it because Letitia didn't tell you about this and you didn't know? Is that why you're avoiding it?
Well, no, I mean, there was no hate against anyone until you know who started this.
Who? KJ.
Obviously, yes.
KJ, and honestly, it's a lot of it is Dre.
Oh, once again, it's got to be blamed on somebody else. It all started with Katie. All of the hate started with Katie. When we know and have proven many times that Letitia had been asked questions many times. She had been asked for a refund back on July 10th, way before there was ever a falling out between Molly and Katie and Justin even. That's what they're not telling you, is there was a lot.
And the thing is what do they want? Do they want me to be silent? Because it's easy for me to be silent when there's no updates.
Isn't it ironic? Don't you think?
So on October 1st, Molly is saying it's easy for her to be silent when there's no updates. But October 3rd, Molly took full responsibility of giving a new update. Well, actually, it was a video from July that she reposted as a new update. Once again, fabricated.
But let me tell you something, bitches. If we find out that Marvon McRae has died,
why is it anyone's business on YouTube what his status actually is? Why is it creator's business what is happening in his personal life? Can anybody tell me that? He didn't have an option of this story coming to social media. So why on earth is it your right to know what his status is? You are a complete stranger. You don't know any of these people, but yet you think you have some sort of right to his private information.
It's going to be a whole new level, a whole new fucking level. I'm going to call up full on Betty. I'm going to say, bitch, pack your bags and get to the airport now. You have tickets already fucking paid for. Let's fucking go. We're all going out there, and we're going out there with the fucking family, and we're going to raise fucking hell.
So if they find out that Marvon has passed and social media is not alerted of this, then she's going to call up her blowhard friend and they're going to get on a plane and go to Yuma with the family and do exactly what, Molly? What are you needed for? Does any of this even make any sense? Because it doesn't. It's been 4 months. And who the fuck are you?
Raise fucking hell.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to stop.
You're not going to stop lying on a Marine veteran's life. You're not going to stop lying and inflating a story that has absolutely nothing to do with you. That was absolutely done intentionally by the family on social media. This is somebody that they claim to care about. And you're not stopping because it's lining your pockets. It's not about Marvon for you guys at this point in time at all. I don't think it ever has been. But it's very clear that this is all about a personal mission for you. Now you're pissed because you feel like Dre has disrespected you because she won't give you the time of day. Isn't that right, Molly? You feel disrespected because she won't give you the time of day to call you out on your bullshit and or fight these petty fights on social media. She is absolutely probably focused on things that matter in her life.
I never stopped supporting Letitia, Wynette, and Mr. Marvon Sr.
Listen, we will support them till we're blue in the face.
Well, I think we actually see that you are possibly turning a little bit of a shade of blue, considering that all the oxygen within this story is slowly being sucked out of it because we've been able to debunk so many of your lies.
Because they haven't done nothing wrong. They have not. They're victims. The only thing people did was donate generously to them.
Yep.
Hey, Justin, you want to explain how the victims, as you just called them, are the same ones that we've seen you guilt trip in text messages to come on live stream after they saw Marvon and do a show that people really wanted to hear from her? Wasn't that you guilt tripping Letitia, but now you're so concerned because they're the victims and they've done nothing wrong? I think you all have had a hand in it.
Drop the cash out. That is it.
Yep. They never asked for anything.
It's interesting that they will acknowledge that people donated out of the generosity of their hearts. They will acknowledge that. But if you asked for a refund because you were lied to, you are absolutely a horrible piece of shit. But let's just be honest, if they're lied to about anything, oh hell, you're about to pay and be drug all over social media. But they will continue to lie to everybody over and over and over again. And over and over.
They never asked for a cent.
Justin, then explain the June 27th post.
And they know that. And all these fake numbers and all this.
Oh my God.
Get the fuck out of here.
How these two fail to realize that when you are asking the public for donations and for them to send money, and then the public finds out that they've been lied to and the foundation of the story is not what it seems, and you, as a creator, have had the power to provide transparency and haven't, there's an issue.
Like we were getting paid, like we knew them.
I've never once thought that Letitia was actually paying Molly and Justin to do this. Molly and Justin have benefited far beyond anybody else in this story. They have made a lot of money and or grown their channels off of this story. So yes, they have greatly benefited in this case. But Letitia has also benefited majorly in this story.
Got bills, dude. And then then all of a sudden, no. After Letitia showed Justice for Marvin on Facebook, all the money that she collected in total, all these trolls went after that group and they shut it down.
And once again, she's just not being transparent. So let's provide some clarification here. Letitia was never transparent with the group whatsoever. She provided generic numbers in a message. She never showed proof of anything. She posted one transaction amount in her Cash App that was $791 a couple days in. After that, there was no proof shown whatsoever of how much money was actually being collected. Letitia gave numbers, but no proof of those numbers was ever shown to anyone. And people were asking questions.
So it makes you wonder, why are they trying to silence everybody?
If you would have paid attention in the beginning of this was never about silencing anybody. It was about telling the story truthfully, getting the facts of the story out there. You had a choice and you chose to continue the path you're on. That's the choice. It wasn't about silencing.
Why are they trying to silence me? Why are these skanks calling my son's high school?
Who you calling skank there, Molly? But just to be transparent, I've never made any phone calls in Molly's real life whatsoever.
Why are they telling me to stay away from this thing? Oh, because it's a Facebook story. I don't give a fuck about Facebook. Facebook sucks.
Actually, I think what it is, Molly, is that you don't like the Facebook groups and pages that are calling you out. That's why Facebook's uncomfortable for you right now, because your name isn't a princess like you tried to have it on Facebook. People are seeing you for what you are. People 100% are seeing you for what you are. But if you didn't care about Facebook so much, why are you over on Facebook trying to encourage others to continue to pass off misinformation in this story? Oh, wait, because that benefits you, right? Because you're trying to get the views and the clicks back up there. Your content is really struggling these days, it seems, isn't it?
Facebook sucks. I don't care about Facebook.
She says she doesn't care about Facebook, but she has bragged about having plants and people behind the scenes in all of these groups and pages trying to cause trouble. Yeah, you yourself have said that and bragged about it, but you don't care about what's going on Facebook. Okay, Molly, make it make sense. We all know that you have people in our inboxes and causing drama intentionally.
I feel bad for Letitia. I feel so bad for these people. They don't even know where their own son is or if he's alive or dead.
So it's October 3rd. We've heard Molly previously state in streams that Marvin was moved back to the house with Jay and then moved from the house to a nursing home. Isn't that what she just claimed? But now Molly is saying that the family doesn't have any current knowledge of where he's at. But then we've also been told that there's a legal agreement, a court order, so they can see him, but they don't know where he's at. So why are you now stating that once again, they don't know where he's at, but they have a court order allowing them to see him? Can you make that make sense? So if there's a court order, which we know nothing's been filed, but let's go on their train of thought. If there was a court order, why wouldn't they be filing contempt if the other party was not holding up their agreement? Because it's a court order, right? Or wait, was it just a verbal or written agreement? And after all of the shenanigans on social media, that agreement was revoked. Is that what it is, and not a legal court document or court filing? Because once again, as we know, nothing's been filed. But if it's a court order, there's ways to rectify those situations. Contempt of court would be one thing. So why are they not doing that? Can anybody explain that one?
I'm sorry, but I would be kicking in fucking doors at every single. Oh my God, I'd be going nuts. I would be demanding. I'm telling you.
We've all seen you demand a hell of a lot. But let's get back to the facts of the story. They have been to Arizona and seen Marvin. They were allowed the ability to see him. They obviously have not gone back. They have not even made an attempt to respond to Dre when she reached out and apologized to them.
They better go out there and walk into that lawyer's office and say, whatever it fucking takes, I want to know where my fucking son is now.
Mm-hmm.
But again, why would they have to go out there in order for that to be accomplished? If she's got legal representation, an attorney would be filing contempt of court charges already, right? Can anybody answer that for me? Does it make sense that they can't find out where he's at if there's a court order? I mean, it might be harder. Tell me what you think.
I demand to know what's going on with my kid now.
But that's not really how things work. Considering the adoption, Letitia walking in and demanding anything on Marvin's behalf, she has no legal right to that. She is basically, in the eyes of the law, a stranger. So her walking in and demanding anything about his care and or condition isn't her right. I know that people think it is just because she gave birth to him. But when adoptions happen, things legally change. Therefore, she would have to either work with Dre or seek some sort of legal help.
I don't care how much it costs now. I'll fly out there with them.
It's October 3rd, Molly. Why are you backtracking? You've claimed that there is a court order allowing visitation. Why are you stuck on this and now going back to it that you need to go to Arizona and help this family again? They were allowed to see him. What else do you think they're entitled to?
Yeah.
I'll meet them there.
Right.
Of course, you would be willing to fly to Arizona and cause more trouble. You have continued to do it over and over and over again on social media with no stop. So why would we expect anything different from you that you would want to cause more problems for this family? Further divide.
Letitia's, she's in the chat, and that's
Oh,
fine.
really?
She's in Tia's chat right now, from what I understand.
They have 100% known all along that Letitia is in Tia's chat. They've known all along. They knew before they went live, I'm sure. They absolutely know what's going on. They're getting text messages and messages from their little cronies that sit and screen record everything for them. Remember, these are the creators who do nothing for themselves. They have their little cronies and followers to go do everything for them. They 100% are aware of what's currently happening at the time. They know, they just don't want to admit it because then there's issues.
But I just think she doesn't want to get involved, to be honest with you.
Involved with what?
I sense some hesitancy on Justin. And to me, that leads me to believe that they really don't know what's going on with Letitia. I would be curious how long it's been since they've had a discussion with Letitia themselves, because it is very strange that Letitia's been on social media all day that day. This was, again, October 1st. She was in multiple creators' lives, multiple, but she stayed away from Justin and Molly's live. That's very telling. And if they are trying to say that there's not motives behind it, that's bullshit.
With the politics of it all, us talking about RuPaul and RuPaul talking about us.
And Justin, this is exactly why I think you need to buy a backbone and some integrity off of Wish. Because you, as a gay man, are sitting there using a transgender person's name to try to insult a female. That's what you're encouraging right now by doing that. Do you understand what you are doing to people in your own community by perpetuating this hate? Do you get what the bigger picture is? Obviously, you don't care because you've continued to do it time and time again. And this is why I could never fuck with you or anybody like you, because you have zero integrity and zero morals. You think about the best interest of you and you only at all times.
You know,
Well,
because
you want to know something, Tia? You know
Tia's
what?
playing it safe. Tia's playing it safe.
I find it comical that Justin says that Tia is playing it safe. First and foremost, I doubt Tia knew that Letitia was going to show up in her comments that night, because it seems like Letitia just pops in randomly to random creators' pages from time to time. So first of all, I doubt she knew that. Secondly, Tia's not playing it safe. She's continuing to pass off a false narrative.
I'm going to test Letitia. Letitia. And what is your name? What's your name again, Justin?
Justin.
So now that Molly has acknowledged that Letitia is in Tia's chat at the time and not in hers, she decides, okay, well, I'm going to text her. So she starts off by doing this again for a show, because it's part of the stream. So she's got to put on this show that her and Letitia are still in communication. We don't know who she's texting. She's probably texting Goose, but Goose is probably sitting in her chat under an alt. Goose seems to have kind of disappeared off social media, interestingly enough, but she's not really gone. She's just on another alt, you guys.
She's been in her life. Yeah. I talked to Wynette just earlier today for a few minutes.
Someone in the chat mentions that Letitia has been in Tia's chat, and he acknowledges, yes, he knows. But then he instantly flips it and says, I just talked to Wynette. Wynette and Letitia are two separate individuals who do not get along, nor do they have a relationship at all. That's been apparent. But they do this intentionally to try and confuse people, so people think, oh, everything's great. Justin just talked to the family today. But there's multiple sides of the family, and no, they do not get along. They don't have this chummy relationship. Your breathing got awfully heavy there, Molly. Are you okay?
All right, I just got a message.
And of course, we have no way of knowing who she's actually communicating with. She could be talking to my big toe for all we know. Honestly, though, at the end of the day, we don't know who she's texting because she never is transparent with anything. She doesn't show it. If she does, it's a 5-second flash that you can't see shit. But she's never transparent with anything. Instead of saying, I'm texting XYZ or XYZ said and confirmed this, she doesn't do that. She plays games.
Did she get that food?
Yeah.
Did she?
Her and Marvon Sr. thanked me immensely. They loved it.
Justin, why the desperate attempt to try and confuse people about Letitia and Wynette that you seem to be doing right now? Because this has all been about Letitia being in Tia's chat, not Wynette. So why are you throwing Wynette in there now? Like everything's chummy with Wynette because you know it's not with Letitia? Or are you questioning Letitia's motives of being in Tia's chat because you didn't know she was going to go in there and support Tia? Because her supporting Tia also calls you guys liars in ways and points out Molly's disgusting behaviors.
Apparently, they're wondering where's the spokesperson. Where's their spokesperson?
A few of you joined me the other night when we restreamed the video that I had previously done that has all the debunking in it. In that video, there's a clip of Letitia basically explaining what she expects these creators to do. And you can go hear that for yourself. It's very interesting because it is a very much they were supposed to do what she wanted when she wanted kind of relationship. It surely seems like there has been a break in their communication with Letitia. I don't know exactly what it is or how it happened yet, but I'm sure we'll find out because this is an evolving mess. Molly still has been silent, but you hear her heavy breathing and her tapping quite frustrated sounding. But you'll see more in just a second. And yes, I crack up every time she is so obviously frustrated or pissed off because you can hear it.
Is she texting you?
We know she's not muted. We can hear the background sounds that she's making, all the frustration that you can hear coming through the phone. Justin asked her, she texted you, and she says nothing. She ignores him. Again, she's not muted. She heard him, but she's obviously so frustrated she can't even form words at this moment. She's just clicking.
Sometimes I wonder if it's really her as well.
Spanky, exactly who else would it be? Who else would be on Letitia's phone texting for Letitia? Her family members. She said she's texting her. So either it's Letitia or somebody in Letitia's home that has access to her cell phone. Can you make it make sense? You're trying to put this in here because, again, you don't want Letitia to be ignoring Molly. So you're trying to think of a way to explain this, right? That she's not texting Molly or not responding to Molly. So by putting that out there, you're saying, oh, it might not even be her. It's a text message. If she's responding, it's her or her family. I just have to say that I know that there's not anything in those clips besides watching Justin squirm and hearing Molly's frustrated clicks. That makes me have so much joy. I can't even tell you because the walls are crumbling. They're trying to hold on for dear life to what the sinking ship has become. He has tried to turn the story, twist it multiple different ways here. So, in case something comes out and it's nasty messages between Molly and Letitia, potentially that's not probably Letitia texting Molly or ignoring Molly. That's just not true. It's a text message. It's either going to Letitia or one of her family members that's right there with her to respond on her phone. That's how that works. But they are very uncomfortable.
You know, I just want to know how Marvon is. Like, is he even still alive? Who knows?
So in this moment, it's obvious that Justin is feeling the heat, that something uncomfortable is happening and he can't respond to that and or doesn't know what's going on with Molly or if somebody's texting her back or not. But you can tell he knows that something's not good. So he starts once again making statements like, we don't even know if he's alive or not, trying once again to spin the story off of them, take the focus off of what's actually happening and try to inflate it with emotion.
Come on, guys. 240 likes, 600 people in here almost. Come on. Give me a thumbs up. Listen, Taya is really just trying to get subs right now.
Justin, did you not just in the same breath ask people to give you a thumbs up because it helps you get into the algorithm and therefore you gain more subs? But now you're bashing on Tia because she's trying to grow her channel. So how is it okay for you to continue to try to grow your channel and gain subs, but not other creators? Can you explain that double standard? Because you guys have a lot of crazy double standards that I don't understand at all.
By it's
Saying
no,
whatever you possibly could.
that is exactly right. She's just trying to get subs by literally making every live about Marissa.
That should make you question a lot of Letitia's motives. Letitia's motives. You're saying that Tia has done nothing but do lives on Marissa, aka Molly. She has been calling Molly out. And now Letitia is sitting in her comments condoning that behavior. She did it with you guys, though, too. She condoned your behaviors. But shouldn't you be questioning that Letitia is making a choice to be present in that live while she's bashing Molly?
Disgusting. She's a worthless person. She's worthless.
Molly is obviously pissed. She is obviously not getting the response that she wanted or thought she deserved because she is once again reeling and going low. Of course, Molly doesn't do anything but go low, but she's again saying she's worthless. Nobody is worthless. But what Molly is actually saying here is that Tia is worthless to Molly. once she stopped pushing off their entire story, she became worthless to Molly and Molly's narrative. That's it.
I don't like somebody that sells out, like for no, like she's very easily influenced.
Hey, Justin, we need to have a chat for a second because what you just said is, again, self-reflection and projection. Talk about a sellout. You can't even stand up for people in your own community, yet you love and care about everybody around you, right? The person sitting next to you has been bashing people in your community, trying to use slurs against people in your community to try and insult creators. And you have condoned all of this. So you really think that you, of all people, have any authority to be speaking on any of this? Really? I think you might need to go take a long, hard look in the mirror and do some self-reflection, because I think you're refusing to acknowledge that you have condoned and done disgusting things by aligning yourself with the creator next to you.
And if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything, right?
Justin, I understand people being confused about their true beliefs and what they actually feel, but you don't seem to stand for anything. You seem to act and talk a lot about it, but there's no action whatsoever. So you really want to be pointing that out about other people? Because I think it fits you probably more than most.
Oh, I definitely got subbed from her.
Notice Justin just so conveniently throws in that he unsubbed to her. He's encouraging their followers to continue to unsub to her. It's either one way or the other. You can't like multiple creators. You got to pick or choose. There's always a side in this group of people, and it's fucking weird as hell. But you also notice Molly still has barely said anything, and she's over there still tapping away. I personally love it because you can tell Molly's not getting what Molly wants in this moment, and she's kind of reeling from it. She seems to be a little bit speechless. Cat got your tongue, Molly?
Big hypocrite.
There's something wrong with her.
The wheels on the bus go round and round.
Yeah.
I don't want anything to do with her. She's gross.
Marissa,
She's very. And what she did to that other woman with those pallets. Those pallets.
Notice how conveniently Molly has still not said one single thing about who she's texting or the text messages she's getting. She still hasn't said anything about that, but she's continuing to throw low blows at Tia. So obviously it's intentional because Molly is not getting her way at the moment, is what it kind of seems to me. Because up until Tia said that the report was real, Molly was singing her praises all over. What a beautiful, classy woman she was.
Her true colors. Everybody's true colors come to surface eventually.
That I will agree with. Everybody's true colors come to light.
And sadly, we're getting all these great new people, and it's not registering to these new people that I'm bringing in. The new people. Every time the news shouts out my name, these new people find me. You know, they all find me because they saw me on the news, or they.
Molly, we just have to have a little chat right quick. I did see you on the news, but I didn't know who you were. I saw this crazy lady yelling outside the laundry's home over and over again. Granted, it didn't register until this story that was you. But most of the people over on this channel had no clue who you were before this story. If it wouldn't have been for your social media shenanigans and the bullshit that you pulled in the story, there's a lot of people that would have never known who you were because you grew significantly off of Marvon's name. That is something you obviously did because Dre has always had a massive following. You're still a speck in comparison to her following. And again, I'm not trying to cut you down. I'm just trying to point out the obvious that you grew for using somebody else's name. You used a man's tragedy to grow your channel. Let's be clear.
They find me for some other reason, and then I get more subs. Like people that work.
I'm not trying to deflate your ego at all by telling you this, but a lot of people are just subbing to you and even to me because they like the shit show. They like the train wreck. They're the ambulance chasers that like to watch this stuff. Not because they like you or even me. They like to watch the shit show of this stuff.
Statistically, people that work with me do much better than people that work against me. It's just a fact for the past 4 years.
Of course, I mean,
Could that be possibly because if people start to see the truth in you after they've co-signed for your behaviors and they try to walk away and or do it quietly, and then they end up calling you out because you do something stupid like come on social media and lie about them, that they have to defend themselves and then you actively try to destroy their channels? As you all know, it's either Molly's way or the highway. As soon as people start calling her on lies or bullshit or things that she doesn't like, she always does some sort of show, calls them out, makes them seem like they're the crazy person or they're doing all of this stuff. She gets her followers to go attack these other channels, report these other channels, and do this over and over again. We've seen it happen numerous times. She even takes it to the level of doxing these creators and their admins or mods at times. But once again, it goes back to Molly doesn't like to be rejected. We just saw Molly being rejected, obviously, some way, shape, or form in a text message. She was not happy. She does not even continue to talk about said text message. We don't know who it was to, what it was about, but she tried to pass it off like she was texting Letitia or Goose. She obviously was not thrilled with the response that she got. Obviously, Molly and Tia are having their issues and they're going to go back and forth and call each other out on whatever they want to. The only part that I have any problem with in any of this is the fact that they're still not being honest about the facts of the story. None of them are. Letitia is not a victim in this story. Letitia willfully participated in much of this. In fact, she put most of this information out there about her biological son. It was intentionally done. Did she have help to do this? Yes, absolutely. She's been handheld the entire way. So no, she shouldn't be taking all of this heat by herself. But she's still not a victim of the story. Again, I understand too that some of this becomes people being put between a rock and a hard place. But at the same time, the facts are the facts. The truth is the truth. So telling half truths to me is worse than blatantly lying in my face. Because when you tell me a half truth and I know the full truth already, you're insulting my intelligence. I think what Molly is saying and doing to Tia is absolutely disgusting. But then again, I'm not shocked. This has been historical behavior. Again, Tia sat on panel with it being done to other people, and now it's being done to her by Molly. I knew it was going to come, and unfortunately, I hate it for all of the creators that are going through it. But this is how she behaves. This is a pattern of behavior. And once again, if you have been here for a while, you know I'm not hating on Tia at all. I'm just speaking the facts. This is not about the creators. This has never been a personal thing for me. I think she's a beautiful, talented makeup artist, and I wish her nothing but the best. So with that said, I do have some questions for you guys, though. Do you think that Letitia being in Tia's chat has been absolutely intentional? And the last question I'm going to ask you is, what do you think the motive behind Letitia participating in Tia's chat at this point in time could possibly be? Again, I kind of told you guys my opinion earlier on what I think it is. I do think that there's some intentional trying to align with certain people in hopes that maybe some of this police report and stuff will potentially disappear. That's what I kind of think about it, but I would love to hear what you guys think. If you made it this far, thank you again for watching another one of my videos. I appreciate you all so much. I really am interested what you guys think about this and the relationship falling out between them and how Letitia has now positioned herself in the midst of that fallout. I think that's very telling for a lot of things going forward. With that said, Tessa, over and out. Thanks again.